Hello my angels, welcome back to my YouTube channel and happy Good Friday. You guys are going to be seeing this on Monday, so I hope you had the most incredible weekend, the most happy Easter filled with so much love, joy, reflection and so much chocolate. Well, we are around about an hour and a half off of guests arriving. We are having a Good Friday extravaganza luncheon, and I thought it'd be really wonderful to be able to share it with you. So, of course, the hair is in the rollers. I've put my pale pink cardigan on because I'm feeling like an Easter bunny this morning, and we've got quite a lot to do. I need to refresh the flowers. I've actually been having them outside in a really cold, dark place, and the majority of the florals have survived and are looking so beautiful, and they are quite literally in full bloom. However, I've had to take out sort of like the mascara and the lily of the valley that sadly has gone over. So I'm going to do a quick refresh, and then it's going to be prep, cook, entertain, host. Champagne is going to be utterly divine, and I can't wait to share every moment of it with you. Mummy is here. Well, I've got the whole fam here, and we are cooking and prepping together some wonderful family recipes that I can't wait to share with you, and it's just going to be utterly glorious. So pour yourselves a glass of champagne. Happy Easter. Well, it's most certainly a family affair this morning. We've got everybody and their aunt in the kitchen, so you'll have to excuse the banging and clattering. The boys are on silver polishing duty. Lizzie, who is our dearest family friend, is on the prawn wild salad duty. And then Mummy and I, here she is, and it's sort of like two peas in a pod here. Our rollers are in and the makeup's on, and we are just prepping the salmon. And this is one of Mummy's favourite recipes that I'm always trying to get.
I was going to do a whole salmon, my Thai style salmon. Do you remember when we used to slow cook that salmon at a very, very low temperature, and it just sort of melts in your mouth? And I think actually what I've done is I've bought a side
of salmon,
fresh salmon from Matron's. It doesn't need a lot because you have to wait until you just see the white
protein
coming through.
Yeah,
it's gonna take longer to cook at a very slow heat, but it should be very, very
low
nice.
And slow. And
so I've just wiped it and patted it down. We bought from Dalesford the other day a sun-dried tomato pesto,
and this is the pink salt shed one,
which is absolutely gorgeous. I'm going to get some sea salt, if you can get some sea salt.
I can get sea salt,
and I've mixed it with our lovely extra virgin olive oil that we got from Babylon Store.
Yes. I've been savouring that. That only goes on like the best of the best salads and that sort of thing.
So I'm going to just paint just some of this pesto with the olive oil on the salmon.
You can actually see what we're doing.
We're then going to make a sort of topping with fresh salmon, the pesto, basil, maybe a little bit of
chopped tomatoes,
cherry tomatoes, basil, maybe a little bit of feta cheese, and we're going to just top the salmon with a sort of
almost like a crust.
Yeah, so all the food today that you're serving is warm.
Yes,
so I think it's so much easier to serve warm food than hot or cold.
And we are having fish on Good Friday, which we love to do.
And we're also doing a sort of like a prawn risotto dish.
Yes.
Which Auntie Lizzie
is working her magic on. So we'll have to head over to Lizzie next and get her secret recipe. She's like, no! You're gonna have to get
colours in.
Exactly.
And what else? Well, I did sort of pre-cook a couple of quiches, which are, will be warm.
You guys know preparation is key.
Everything.
So we did the quiches yesterday, and we've done a couple of bits and bobs, so that actually when our guests arrive, we can have a glass of bully, walk around the orchard, and actually enjoy the day and not be sort of...
I do like Good Friday.
I love Good Friday.
And we're so lucky with the weather again.
Yes, the luck of the sneeze.
Anyway, there we go. So, so this is, I don't want to put too much of this on because I want to be able to see when it's...
The protein is coming through. Okay, so are you going to let this just sit and marinate?
I think it can do for 10 minutes, but it's going to take 25 minutes to cook.
And then you're just going to leave it?
Now? Yes, so I want to put it in 15 minutes.
Okay.
No, in 10 minutes I'll put it in and then it'll just...
20 minutes. Divine. Well, we'll keep an eye on that.
On it as well.
Definitely, seasoning is absolutely everything. Do you want a bit of black pepper?
Yes, please.
Cool, okay. I'm on black pepper duty. How divine.
Lovely. And then really, all about presentation. So we're going to get one of Grandma's lovely big old dishes, I thought. And then we'll dress it around.
Just like
fresh watercress.
Yeah, beautiful. Beautiful.
Okay, so that's
that is the salmon done. And I'm now going to head into the scullery just to refresh the florals for the tablescape. Marcus is running around like a headless chicken. And we are all under control. So let's go and do some flowers. Well, here we are again. I feel like it's a bit of a deja vu. We've got some beautiful, fresh parrot tulips. These are just exquisite. I'm going to take these off. I've had them in the sink for around about 2 hours just to let them have a fresh slug of water and also acclimatise to the temperature in our home. So fingers crossed they are not going to go floppy. We've got some gorgeous fresh ranunculus. Isn't that delicious? Very classic ivory. And then these are actually butterfly ranunculus. They look a little somewhat like anemones, but how gorgeous are they? So butterfly ranunculus. And then over here, I've got all of the florals that we created together. And as you can see, they are looking spectacular. I have so many tips and tricks for you guys, and so many of you are asking, how on earth are you keeping the florals alive in time for Easter? Well, let me tell you, it's all about trimming, keeping the water cold, constantly refreshing every day, if not every other day, and keeping them in a very dark and cold place out of the wind. And do you know what? They will just survive. If you look after them, they will look after you. So they are looking amazing. I couldn't want for the tulips to be looking actually any better for today. They are in full bloom, and as you can see, the insides are yellow. So with the pink cardi and the yellow sort of inside of the tulips, we are looking very Easter-fied, aren't we, Marcus? You are going to change. Well, I am going to change as well for later. That's a whole nother palaver. Well, we'll have to deal with that a little bit later. So what my plan is to just, as I said, have a bit of a refresh, pop some fresh florals into the arrangements that are already done. I don't want it to be too full. I think there is an element of the tablescape. We want to be able to see each other and for it not to look too ridiculous. So I've had my orders. I also need to have a little bit of a refresh with the big arrangement in the kitchen, and then I think I'm going to do these parrot tulips possibly in a really beautiful tight vase. And then what else are we going to do? We've also got to do the little bathroom arrangements. So I'm going to have to do this really rather quickly. So I think I'm going to pop you guys on a time lapse. Enjoy the music. I feel like you guys are with us, and we're celebrating Good Friday together. It's always so special, and I love sharing it with you. So let's create something utterly magical. Arrangement number 1, refreshed and looking fabulous. Number 2, arrangement done. We've got so much time. This is all going to come together beautifully. You're looking a bit floppy. I'm not sure whether I like you or whether I don't like you. Who? This one. Do you like Mr. Flopster? Do you think that looks like it's had better days, or do you think it's quite nice that they're a bit loose and wild? Huey?
They're loose and wild, it's fine.
Why are there interior magazines?
It's because I want to take them to America.
America. She wants to take me to America. Great, when are you off to America?
Monday.
I'll come with you.
Monday.
In goes the salmon. So we are cooking it at 125 and it's going in for about 25 to 30 minutes. But eyeball it. Make sure that you are keeping a really close eye so that when the sort of white stuff starts to come to the surface, that is the protein. That means that it's cooked. Get it out and rest her. And that is our Good Friday Easter tablescape all done. The florals have been refreshed and it is looking utterly heavenly. We've gone with a combination of whites, fresh greens and just that little pop of yellow. But as you can see from the table, we're drawing out so many colours, from the stunning tablecloth from Mrs. Alice to the beautiful runner that's got the pinks, the purples, the bunny rabbits, the butterflies. Sadly, we don't have any Lily of the Valley on the table, but do you know what? I am planting it for next year. We're going to just love it so much. We've got all of the Mrs. Alice bunnies, the ochre little tea lights. We've even added in some lint gold bunnies. Then in terms of the actual place setting, we did it together. So we've got an edition 94, Rebecca Udall, Rebecca Udall, Rebecca Udall, and then an Amazon little yellow bow just to make the tulips pop. And then we've got our Williams and Sonoma sweet little bunny rabbit plates, and I've actually popped them to the side to actually have them as a side plate so that people, when they walk in, they can enjoy them, and hopefully it will bring them a smile. The fireplace is looking just outrageous. It is in full bloom and the daffodils look as though they're coming out of the fireplace. And then this is what Steve planted up. Well, this is what we planted up together. Very colourful indeed. The hyacinths, the tulips, the daffodils, the mascari. It looks gorgeous, very colourful and beautiful. We've got Mrs. Alice, Amazon, Mrs. Alice, and then of course our family silver. So we're going to put loads of ice in there, and then we're going to serve the wine and the champagne from the buckets. So that is the table finished. We've also got a really gorgeous little floral display here. So I've refreshed the main arrangement here. The parrot tulips are still looking sensational. So when I say you need to cut them down and give them fresh water, this is why. They spring up and they stand to attention. Gorgeous. The quail's eggs are already cooked and prepped with the celery salt. We've got the plate and we're going to pop lots of sort of like crisps and nuts. I like to add a little dip in here as well. I've got Mr. Bunny, who always looks fabulous. I need to have a little look at where this came from because he's been in our family for so long and we always put the dip inside his little sort of cabbage bowl. A few more tulips which look gorgeous, the little birdies that look so sweet in the blossom branches, and then here is my crudité basket. So I'm going to go and prep all of my vegetables and we're going to build the basket together. I recently filmed actually a reel, a YouTube short and a TikTok just explaining how I do it in 30 seconds. But I know you guys, you love the long form content, so I'll talk you through it. And now I've got a very patient husband over here. Are you going to match the tablescape, Marcus? I don't know whether this is really sad or the fact that I love you even more. Hang on, go over there so I can see it. I think green with yellow chinos. This one, I don't know why, it looks like it's been put in a dark wash. It looks a bit dodge. But anyway, right, you go and get Easter ready and I'm on the crudité. Yes, mummy, my goodness, she's barking orders at me already. So I'm going to pop you guys on a tripod and we're going to create the most epic Easter crudité basket you have ever seen. Quite literally eating the rainbow this Easter. So to just talk you through the prep, it literally is as easy as get your favourite vegetables, go to the farmer's market, go to Waitrose, Tesco's, whatever you want to get. You could even get vegetables on offer. So this is actually quite a cost-effective but really wow canapé that you can do that's easy, fun and interactive. So I've just prepped my vegetables by washing them and cutting them. And really, the way to create this and essentially assemble it is to get a load of tea towels. And what you want to do is get yourself a basket. You can find these in sort of like salvage yards, or if you want to, you can head to Dalesford and get a ridiculously expensive one, but they are beautiful. And you're going to want to stuff the bottom of it with some tea towels. It really doesn't matter which tea towel. All that does matter is that you've got some beautiful tea towels. I am here, sorry. Here I am, looking for the tea towels. You're going to want some pretty tea towels on the top. So I'm going to use these ones to create the height. I'm literally just going to scrunch them up. There we go. And it just means that you don't have to have a ridiculous amount of vegetables. I mean, we do have a lot, but if we were to fill this whole basket, it would be, yeah, an enormous amount of veggies. So I would say that that is quite good. I'm going to add one more this side. And then what we're going to do is you want to make sure your basket is in position, because once you start placing the veggies, there's no going back. It's really, really hard to move the basket. So fingers crossed you can actually see what I'm doing. I might actually bring you just slightly closer. There we go. And now I'm going to move that to one side a little bit. And then I'm going to lay the tea towels that I want to show on the top, and I bring them down a little bit onto the marble, because what I love to do is sort of like roll out. Gee, that's something I need to triple check whether I've got any radishes. I'm going to roll out my tea towels, pop that dip over there just there, and then pop one this side. Oh, I really hope that's not a guest, because otherwise I'm in deep doo-doo. Okay, so I've just popped you there, and I'm gonna have to do this quickly because I think that is my godmother that has just arrived, which is fine. She can see me like this, and most of the time she gives me a hand. Okay, so I'm just actually placing the celery full stalks because I love to see a little bit of the roughage. I'm actually just going to blend them into the tulips. And then I go in with the beautifully cut celery for crudité, and I will just blend that into the bottom. And now I go all the way down. Hi! Boys! I'm not ready yet, and I'm also filming, so come say hi to YouTube. No, you're fine. Come in, come in, come in. You're early, Jane.
No, Carmen said to me to get here early to help her.
How are you?
I'm all right, thank you. Lovely to see you. I missed you the other day. I had lovely dinner with Mark.
Oh, well, I hope you had a lovely dinner. So you were quite literally part of the family today. So very quickly, just doing this because guests arrive in 15 minutes, and I currently look, well, at least the hair and makeup is done. And I'm just going to quickly finish this off. So it's kind of just building, building, building. And then what I like to do is actually use the chicory and pop the chicory around the back of the celery. And again, it just builds height. It adds so much gorgeous colour. And as I said, it's such a lovely way of, you know, keeping it really healthy in a really wow kind of way that's cost effective. I love it. So that there is looking fabulous. Do you know what? If you've got green fingers, there's no reason why you couldn't grow your vegetables and have a crudité basket like this. Boys! If you have followed me or subscribed to my YouTube channel for a while now, you'll know that I was massively inspired by the Michoud in Cannes. They always have the most incredible crudité baskets, and that's where I first got the idea, and I'm sort of claiming that I brought it to the UK. So those are the chicory in, and then what we do is I'm just going to continue to bring down the celery, and you kind of just want to guide it down. Almost your tea towel is a ski slope, and I like to ensure that it's all colour coded. So I'm going to start off with the green, and then your chicory is going to continue to bring it down as well. And you use the little celery pieces to hold it up. There we go. I feel like I'm rushing now. Hopefully I'm going to do this justice. Right, I do love people being punctual. but too early is always a little bit of a difficult situation. Right, okay, now I'm going to move on to my cucumber. I'm going to bring the cucumber down here, cucumber down this side. And don't worry if your vegetables start to slide, they will, just prop them back up. There we go. Bring some cucumber down the other side. There we go. Okay, cucumber down here. Right. Yeah, all good. What do you think? I think they look beautiful. I love it. Final bits and bobs are the fennel, and I'm just going to scatter that across. And then we are going to bring it down again. And then bring it down this way. So I do try and make it sort of match somewhat. And then you just blend it all together. So in comes the fennel. The girls back there are having a right mothers meeting. And we have 10 minutes before guests arrive. I feel like we're going to somehow manage to pull this off. I'm going to bring the gorgeous pea snaps down this side. And we've still got to get the peppers. I've somehow made this a lot sort of more full than usual. I'm not sure how I've managed to do that. I think it's because I'm rushing. Okay, so that is that. I'm going to do the orange at the top, I think, and then into the red, and then into the radishes. Bring that down. You can kind of scatter the orange through the red, so it's almost like a bit of an ombre effect. And then you just want to fill any gaps. And finally, we've got these gorgeous, rather spicy, crisp radishes. I'm just going to pop these around the bottom. And I actually love to leave their little sort of like hairy tails or hairy beards on. And there we go. That, apart from the dips, is our crudité basket all finished and looking sensational. I'm just going to move those little pieces here, pop a few more in there. I'm going to use as many of these chicory pieces out as possible. And that is our incredible Easter crudité basket ready for Good Friday. And here we go. We are ready for guests. And this is our sort of little canapé setup. Got some delicious ottolenghi dips, quail's eggs, crisps, nuts, different types of crisps with a delicious fresh tzatziki. And then we've got our Easter crudité basket. I'm going to give that a little drizzle of olive oil and sprinkle some paprika on the top of it, just that it's presented beautifully. Tulips for days and some more quail's eggs, and I think it's safe to say that that is looking spectacular for Easter. Well, after a remarkably busy morning, I am ready for lunch. The world's quickest change, but that's always why preparation is key. Up early, hair and rollers, makeup was already done. All I needed to do was pop a little bit of lip gloss on, pop a beautiful dress on, and I am ready. So to talk you through my Good Friday outfit, I think you've seen this one before. This is a beautiful Hobbs dress. I think it is perfect for the spring summer season. If you've got any lunch parties, even weddings, it's perfect for the British summer social season with a hat. It is so elegant and so ladylike. I adore the chiffon balloon sleeves, and the colour is truly scrumptious. It's beautiful pale green, got a little bit of sort of periwinkle blue, white. It's just stunning. The covered buttons, the waist tie, and then into this just gorgeous swishy skirt. I've popped on a pair of Manabee wedges. I wanted a little bit of height, but I didn't want to be sort of OTT. I know people will be wearing sort of like white cut-off trousers, and I know I'm always on the air of overdressed. However, you can never be overdressed or overeducated, and this is what I'm wearing. I've even got my Morganite earrings, beautiful Morganite and diamond necklace from Tivon Fine Jewelry, and the beautiful matching ring. What else? What else? What else? I think that's everything. So that is me ready. Let's head downstairs and welcome our guests. One final little touch for the canapes is going to be the camembert. So I've got a lovely sourdough loaf. I'm going to cut a hole out of it. I'm going to pop some chili jam in, a little bit of white wine, and I'm going to pop the camembert into the loaf of bread and bake it. And it's going to be so oozy and gooey and cheesy and delicious. To use some delicious fig jam, and I popped it in the bottom. I've now squidged the camembert in, and I'm just popping the garlic into, I've just sort of made some knife slices. So I'm going to pop this in here. I'm probably going to get a copyright claim. And then I'm going to pop a little bit of thyme on the top. We are going to, much to Daddy's disgust, and fingers crossed he doesn't see me do it, we're going to put the pralini montrachet on the top of the bread. Give it a good old dousing. And then the final touch is a drizzle of truffle honey. Ugh, let's see if I can get it out. Okay, I'm gonna have to use my muscles, and I'm definitely gonna get a copyright claim. Now you're gonna want to pop some tin foil over the top of it, and you're going to want to bake it at around about 180 until the cheese is super runny in the middle. We're gonna take off the foil and let it crisp up. Look at these gorgeous ladies. We've got Mummy and my fairy godmother, Fee. Happy Easter. Cheers, cheers. Can we just take for a moment, can we have outfit of the days? You two are so fabulous. What are we wearing?
I bought it in Marlow a couple of years ago, darling. That's all I can think of.
Well, you're fabulous. And with our shared Chanel pumps, but we share. And Fee, where is this dress from?
Leopard, my lovely leopard was given to me donated by a girlfriend.
Oh my gosh, well look at those sexy legs. Oh, beautiful. Oh gosh, that's divine. Well, you're looking fabulous, ladies. And here's to Good Friday. Happy Easter. So the bread is out, it is crisped to perfection, and as you can see, have a little look at that beautiful runny camembert. We've got the drizzly truffle honey, some gorgeous thyme, and that is going to be utterly scrumptious. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to chop it so it's easy for my guests to take a piece of bread and dip it in, and then I'm going to pop it onto this wooden platter. Rafi, what do you think, my precious child? I've just popped some delicious seasonal salad around the edge. How good does that look? So I've just cut in. You can absolutely try it. Good? Delish? Delish. Right, out she goes. Out she goes. Look at her. She's not going to take credit credit for the camembert. So just to quickly talk you through the food today, this is a beautiful ottolenghi aubergine dish with curried, beautiful yogurt. We've got caramelized onions in there, topped with some pomegranate seeds, and this really is a bit of a showpiece. It's slow roasted aubergines, and it is utterly scrumptious. Then this is Mummy's side of salmon. It was cooked really low and slow, and we have decorated it with some beautiful fresh watercress and some lemon wedges. We've then got some pumpkin seeds and butternut squash quiche. We've got a very, very traditional caramelized onion quiche that is so beautifully decorated with the rosemary from outside on our Mackenzie Child's beautiful platter. Then we have a beetroot and quinoa salad with so many bright, beautiful seasonal vegetables with pine seeds, pumpkin seeds, beautiful watercress, rocket, and a touch of lemon on the top. And then over here we've got a fennel and char grilled broccoli salad with fresh chilies and a tiny touch of actually apple. It is so delicious. Here is the original hostess with the mostess. This is the person that I've learnt the majority of my recipes and tips and tricks. But if truth be known, after a glass of bolly or two, she yes.
That's where you come.
Yes, thank you. So she's actually just preparing her salmon dish. Can you talk me through it? It looks delicious,
it should
Mummy.
be moist and lovely, which is the main thing.
Exactly. Some fresh, really interesting, different salads, different quiches, and it's all family style, which I love on Good Friday. It's just utterly divine. Everybody's so happy, having little sips of champagne, and it's just divine. Here she comes with another dish. We've got a beautiful prawn, sort of like wild rice, sort of paella dish that Lizzie has made. And it looks really rather scrumptious. So that is us. And here we go. I definitely think my eyes are bigger than my belly, but bon appetit, everybody. It's so colourful and so delicious. A little glass of champagne to wash it down, a Lindt bunny or two, and just the most divine company. Oh, it really is Good Friday. So we've got a cheese board of dreams, a big Stilton, we've got a delicious creamy brie, a lovely cheddar, and then another blue cheese. I think this was one of the cheeses from Dalesford. I can't quite remember the name. Lovely grapes, celery, and then these are some wonderful little sort of a country plates that we have with the foxes, the partridge, the ducks. This is our orange polenta cake. This is actually something that I've made with you before. Cinnamon, oranges, it's moist and utterly scrumptious with some clotted cream with Mrs. Bunny. And then here we have Mummy's famous tart.
Lemon.
Takes one to know one, but this is a secret family recipe, a delicious lemon tart with a few raspberries. As Mark calls them, what do you call them? A raspberry. A raspberry.
It's not my favourite tart.
Oh, it's not your favourite tart?
No.
Am I your favourite tart? Excuse me, what a tart. I seem to be playing musical chairs, so we've changed seats for pudding, stolen Mark's seat, and I've got a delicious orange polenta cake. Feeling a teeny tiny touch overwhelmed, but our last guest left about 20 minutes ago, came running upstairs, very quick change of clothes, and I am off for a girls' night at Hurley House. It's been the most wonderful day. Obviously hosted 14 for lunch. Definitely didn't think this one through, but I must say, maybe it's one of my superpowers, is that, maybe you didn't know this about me, is that I will never ever pull out of something if I've agreed to go. I have to be quite literally knocking on death's door in hospital or like severely ill or like a genuine family emergency to pull out of something. And I think there's actually something terrible about my generation, is the flake culture. And do you know what? Life is mental at the moment. Work is crazy busy, and I'm not looking for any sympathy whatsoever because I do bring it upon myself. You know what? I decided to host today. I decided to do Eastermas or Vlogster, whatever we're calling this. And of course, I agreed to go this evening, but just can't be dealing with the flake culture. I could definitely do with an early night, but here we are. And I am ready for girls' night. So we're kind of keeping it like, kind of like casual, but with a little bit of a heel. So I'm kind of almost in full Holland Cooper, but from top to toe, I've still got my Tivon fine jewellery on. I've got a beautiful crisp white shirt on with beautiful lace detail with a gorgeous ruffled collar from Bowden. And then the jumper, the blazer and the jeans and the twilly is all from Holland Cooper. These jeans have like just catapulted me into being a jean galley. You will have rarely seen me in a pair of jeans, and now I'm completely converted. I love the sweet little pockets on the front, the high waist, the two little buttons, and just the fit is outstanding. They're wide leg, but with an air of tailoring. I've got my gorgeous single-breasted navy Henley blazer on, and because it's still quite chilly, I've got a really gorgeous sort of like cable knit, creamy cable knit over the shoulders, so we're still very much layering, which I feel is sort of very Holland Cooper. I've got a sweet little Lady Dior bag, which as you can see, I've popped my Holland Cooper twilly on, and I love the sort of horse hooves and the stirrups and the real sort of like equestrian vibe that it's bringing. And then the hint of glam, because it wouldn't be a Leonora outfit without it, is a pair of navy Christian Louboutin. So they're business in the front, party in the back. So she's ready for girls' night at Hurley House. I've ordered a taxi because my husband has already gone out. Oh my gosh, Easter weekend, I've got this. I've got to stay strong, stay sensible. Minky is not coming out tonight. I'm going to have one margarita and some sushi and just the most amazing conversation with my gorgeous girlies and continue to fill my cup up. This week from start to finish has been the absolute dream. That is my taxi, the dream, starting off in the Cotswolds with Josie and ending up with my girlfriends at Hurley House. Right, I've got to stop nattering and open the gates. Here we go. Just had the nicest taxi driver ever. We've chatted the whole way, and what an inspiration he was. I am out with the girls. We're out on the ton and we're all on the margaritas. The night is young. Cheers, my darlings. Happy Easter. Happy Easter, everybody. Cheers. Cheers. Happy Easter. Happy Easter. Cheers. Our dinner has arrived and we've gone with the black cod. We've got a delicious selection of different sushi. We've got tender stem broccoli with sort of like miso and sesame seeds. An incredible array of different sort of sushi. I mean, girls, this looks sensational. Little Hurley House dinner is going down an absolute treat. Margaritas are literally on tap, and this is my absolute favourite.